Are you procrastinating? Just nod. What if I told you it's not your fault? It's not about willpower. The only problem is that you don't know what the immediate next step is. Everybody procrastinates to a certain extent, but for some people, it gets a little overwhelming. Here's what worked for me. Now, like I mentioned in my previous video, which you can find here, you need three things to get to work: a roadmap, ways to remove friction, and ways to trigger your brain into action. In my last video, I taught you how to use a morning routine as a sort of scaffolding to build a functional working environment for yourself. It's fun, there's eggs in it. Check it out later. Today I want to talk about roadmaps, how to get from point A to point B. By the end of this video, I hope to have given you an idea on how to create a roadmap and how to use it to minimize the effort it takes to get off the couch. Now, here's the thing. One of the biggest reasons why you feel blocked from what you want to do is because you don't know the immediate next step. You may think you do, but I'm willing to bet that the next step is several steps away from where you currently are. Because, viewer, there are hidden tasks all over the place. Your brain knows about them and weighs you down, but it won't tell you what they are. Let's take laundry, for example. A big part of why I couldn't get control of that huge pile of clothes on the chair was because, for me, the goal was do laundry. But there are blockers all over the place, especially if you're not used to doing a task or it's your first time doing it. When it came to laundry, one of the blockers would be I have to separate whites and colors, eventually followed by I have to hang the laundry out to dry, and finally I have to fold and put away the clothes. You still with me so far? Good, because there's more secret tasks where that came from. Because once you start working on the thing, you'll discover new tasks popping up. Things like research what temperature should I be washing these shirts at, or where did I even leave the detergent, or how does this laundry machine even work? The more questions you have, the more research you're actually going to have to do to get to point B. And that's good because it's going to give you an overall idea of how long your project is actually going to take. You could potentially get stuck into a research wiki hole, so you have to be mindful about that. Now let's try a more practical example. Let's say you want to, start a YouTube channel. Literally, I have no idea how I just came up with that idea. I'm just that good, I guess. But starting a YouTube channel is not an actionable goal. It's easy to start one. You just open a Google account, to be honest. But if we change it to an actual action, like for example, upload a video to YouTube, then we have something we can actually tangibly do. So roadmaps are just ways to breaking big and vague goals into actionable steps. In the beginning, you have nothing, just an idea, a phone, and maybe some overdue bills. But we want to upload a YouTube video. Now, I've had the idea of a YouTube channel where I discuss mental health and strategies for a while now, but I would always beat myself up over it because I could never get to work on it, because my roadmap looked a little bit like this. But it wasn't until I sat down and stared at the ceiling for a while that these secret tasks and questions became clear and apparent. Like, for example, you want to upload a YouTube video? Great! What about? And that was the first blocker/question I had. What will I talk about? Why? What do I want to say? See, my first impulse was to research all of the technical aspects of how to upload a YouTube video, how to light a room, how to record voiceovers, how to edit a video. These are all extremely useful things to know, especially if you're starting a YouTube video, but it's not part of the beginning of the journey, and it's critical not to lose sight of that.
But it quickly became clear that being ready to shoot was pretty worthless if I didn't know what to talk about.
Now this sounds obvious to a lot of people. Well, we don't listen to them because it didn't sound obvious to me.
So the question of what will I talk about can be answered with the task write script.
And now here's once again the secret to the whole thing. Ask yourself, can I upload the video now? Well, no, because you don't have one. Cool, so what's next?
The script writing might spawn a couple more secret tasks, like for example, write first draft or reread for tone and grammatical mistakes. But once you have that, you can move on to the next step, which is shooting the video.
Now, shooting the video is a very complex task. I printed out this YouTube checklist where I have all the tasks that I need in order to set up the studio correctly. Doing it this way prevents me from having to do reshoots later.
But these are already a bunch of secret tasks. Tasks that my brain knows exist but won't tell me. If I had the sudden inspiration to record a video and I didn't have my checklist, I would be weighed down by the amount of unknown things I would have to do to get myself ready for it. And that would keep me firmly planted on the couch. But now we can add shoot video to the roadmap. And again we ask, can I upload the video now?
No! Not yet. You still have to edit the video and add music to it, graphics, all that kind of extra stuff if you want to make it interesting. And that's just for a talking head video. If you want to go the extra mile, then you still need to figure out B-roll and extra shots and all that stuff.
So we'll add editing to the corkboard. Now see how big this is getting? Especially since editing, for example, is a large topic where you can find hours upon hours of beginner-level tutorials and still not scratch the surface of the depth and material that exists out there.
But you don't need to know much about it. You only need to know enough to be able to produce something that isn't perfect, but is good enough. So what about now? Can we push out the video now? I mean, maybe.
See, if it's your first time doing this, then you probably want to think about setting up the actual YouTube channel. Give it a proper name, add some branding, get familiar with YouTube Studio, that sort of thing. Now, these tasks push your launch further down, but the good thing is they only need to happen once.
Now this is a proper roadmap. It's given us tasks and things we need to research and a global idea of exactly how long it's going to take for us to upload a YouTube video or finish a novel or write a song or wait, where have I seen this before?
Now, if you get discouraged by the amount of work that's needed to see a finalized creative project, then I reckon it's not because the to-do is unclear. It's because your message is. You don't know what to talk about, or you don't know what your story is about, or you don't know what feelings you actually want to convey. And that is okay. Not knowing what to talk about or what to write about just means you need to, well, take a walk, stare at the ceiling, sleep on it, or share your half-baked idea with someone. See if they can make sense of what the message is trying to be.
Once I have my roadmap, I can start working on my calendar. And I can start putting these tasks into time blocks in my calendar. That's going to give me a global idea of how long this project is going to take. And I can visualize that. And those planned days and planned weeks and planned months, they'll turn into planned years. And before you know it, you've answered the question, where do you want to be in 5 years? Wherever my roadmap takes me.
So grab a notebook and a pen and brainstorm your way through what it is you want to say and how. you'll watch your goal change from finish big project into whatever is next on the list. One small step at a time is all you need. Sometimes we're blind to what needs to be done. Sit down, write it out, discover the secret tasks.
Because I'm willing to bet you're not lazy. You're not a burnt out multi-potentialist. You just don't know what the literal next step is.
What do you want to start next? What's your project? What do you want to do? Chime in the comments, especially if you don't know what the next step is. We'll figure it out.